If you could imagine your ideal
All right, hey everyone, welcome in. Welcome to another late show. After already what seems like MLS After Dark, we're going after dark. We did it. We did it again. Somehow. We found out how to get results on the road. All it took was changing everything, it seems. I mean, how hard really is it to get results on the road now that we've done it, more often than we've done it since 2021, I think. So, pretty strange occurrences, pretty strange times that we're living in. And this was our first ever match against St. Louis. And what a way to start things off. Boy, I think they are going to hate us going forward after this game. This was... If I was in a St. Louis City fan seat, I would have been livid with this match. I feel like we got away with murder in some ways. And the other team got hard done multiple times. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought the calls were fair and reasoned. They made sense to me. But you could easily see how a fan from another side could say, or even a neutral maybe, could say like, that's rough. That's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. So, my condolences to the St. Louis City fans. We don't typically beat our opponents this way. I will just say that. We either are playing really good and we are good and we'll just beat you that way, or we usually just play terrible and you dunk on us. So this is a kind of an anomaly. You may not see this again from us. So we'll see. So anyway, moving on. I got AJ here with me, as usual. He's gonna start off by telling us exactly how much money he paid the ref for tonight.
In MLS dollars, a lot.
Garber bucks.
Garber bucks. But as far as the reffing goes, man, we'll take it every day of the week because that's just, we don't usually get a ton of those type of calls at home, it seems like. So,
or ever. Ever, really?
Yeah. And so, on the road, sure. That definitely helped us in getting back into this match because, it very easily could have been 2-1, even though arguably later on in the match we had the better of the chances. But this match, much like the other match, the first half snoozer, just but kind of how you have to play. At least we were mostly defensively resolute, and the three-man back line is working. It is large
with children too.
Yeah, with children. And ironically, it's when Stian Gregerson comes on when we look a little haphazard, and obviously he's just coming back from injury, and he was able to make up for it in terms of kind of lost his man a little bit, on his marker for the goal. He was partially to blame, not fully to blame.
He started the cascade of failures.
Yeah, it was bouncing around, and then Wiley was pretty much trying to, help Mark but really didn't need to, and kind of left uh, someone near the edge of the box that you shouldn't have left open. And yeah, uh, I think Braguzan had a really good match to large in part. Besides the two, I guess, kind of goal, uh, I don't even know, like involvements. It's not really, yeah.
Events.
Yeah, exactly. The VAR, non-goal. I feel like it's just that's that classic Braguzan like needs to react faster. Like yes, it was deflected, but still it was right at him. Like
Yeah.
you feel like he can at least, something.
It was another
Get
one
him
of
off.
those, like, sniper shots. Brad just gets
Right.
caught and falls down. I mean,
Yeah.
he's classic Brad. But I mean, when he gets caught on the wrong foot and he's going the other way and he's not expecting it, he is just like his soul gets sent to like the spirit realm. Like it's just done.
Yeah, Calvin Harris starts playing, and it's just, and it's just like, why, man? Like, but and then the goal that I can see is it's not really much you can do about that. But the stats as well bear out that he's been having a good year, and
Commentators said so too on the broadcast.
exactly, and so. It's one of these games where, we needed some magic, and Sam Ferguson was able to win that penalty. Daniel Rios steps up. It's
Not a good
not a
penalty.
It's
We were AJ and I were taking penalties earlier today, and we had better ones than his.
possibly. They were. I haven't taken penalties in quite some time, and I was trying to get my muscles back into doing that. But if you're stepping up to take a penalty in an MLS game, you gotta hit it harder than that. Like that's obviously it wasn't good enough. Plus, Berkey read it all the way, but Rios was able to slot it away on the rebound, and it's a good leveler in the sense that I think we earned that at the very least, and I think we were a little unlucky at some points too to not get a winner, but
That Jay Fortune shot,
yeah,
that Dax McCarty shot. I mean, two of them there. They were good.
Yeah, they were very well struck, but man, you as well sometimes it's like the margins are small, and I think later on in the match, man, it just players dropping like flies, like the when you play pretty much, it's not even 100 minutes. You pretty much play 110 minutes. Yeah. After playing a midweek match, these players are gonna be shot. Like they don't have any, just sea legs. So, or people coming off, and Dan Rios, hopefully he's all right. Man, it's
Yeah, hopefully.
I wonder if he was kept on a little too long. Just in general.
Talking about people kept on too long. How about Sean De Silva?
Yeah, I mean he.
That guy was a passenger for the last 25% of the time he was on there.
Yeah, because there were some moments that he was silky on the ball, but I think I would have preferred to maybe see either Luke Brennan or Nick Firmino and kind of see what they could do a little bit. But Silva is probably the fourth most talented attacker on the squad, but isn't showing it right now.
On the 87th minute, I mean, come on. And maybe at minimum 10 minutes earlier, that sub should have come.
Yeah. But, because it's like Silva's. obviously he's had 2 goals in the past 4 matches, but it's also, kind of his involvement in the build-up isn't always plentiful. It can be sometimes. He does add a bit of that quality that we do need, because yes, we played with more urgency. I think from the kickoff, we played with kind of an ability to kind of play crisper, but you do need somebody that adds that la pausa, like the ability to slow down the game a little bit too at times once you get to the final third. And if we're always just 1 touch, 2 touch, in and around the box, well, you're not going to find the premium chance sometimes. And I think early on in that first half, it was just not enough of that. And I found that Muyumba was the guy that, I think offered that type of quality that, Almada obviously offers in spades, but Muyumba can do a little bit of. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a match to write home about. You just prioritize that we got the result, and still undefeated in the Valentino era. Can we play better? Absolutely. But
will we need to? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need to. I think against stronger sides, be able to play with more quality. But without Almada, without of course Yakimakis, who's sold, Saba, who was away, that's what we've been asking of Atlanta United to do, and we were able to do it. So it's not not massive complaints.
Yeah, let me read some of these stats, and then we'll get to some comments if there are any in the chat tonight. So the highest rated player on SofaScore had Roman Burki at an 8.3, which, I mean, to stop that one shot, what was that? It was that Daniel Rios that had a scorcher, and then he barely got his tips to it. Yeah,
it was that was a really good strike. That, again, the unluckiness.
Yeah,
and we had 3 shots that probably, I mean,
and it reflects in the XG that we have on here. So like Brad Guzan has 7.2 on our side. That's good. Our highest rated guy, according to this, was 7.7 with Fortune. That's pretty cool, seeing him get that high rating. All of our strikers and top line guys were in the middle 6, like 6.5, 6.7. Not very good. Our lowest was 6.7 overall. So not terrible. And that was Efren
really
Morales. So.
Yeah, really not a bad night for most of the players. It's just finishing off some, or at least getting into the final third to create better chances.
Fun fact, also, if you look on SofaScore, the picture they have for Rob Valentino as manager, he still has hair in this picture. So that's fun.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's well, this match possibly lost him hair.
Could have been, yeah. So we had 52% possession rate. They had 48%. So we won that battle by a tiny little margin.
They didn't want the ball.
No.
They really didn't want the ball, and I don't think we really did either. And it was just really, a battle of, like we've talked about. It's like, well, who wants it? Who wants it less?
Yeah, it contributed to the lackluster, anticlimactic aspects of the game. So the XG for us was a whopping, for an away team, 1.6, which is pretty good for us on our standards. And they only were able to generate a 1.07, which for their home team, that's not good. We had 3 big chances. They had 1. They had 16 total shots. We had 13. Trying to see if there's any interesting stats that stick out to me. Not really. I mean, they hit the woodwork one time too.
I mean, make no bones about it. Tonight was a mediocre off.
Yeah. It was a mid-off, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in no sense of the word was this quality football. Like, I think some of the strikes were really well hit, but obviously they didn't go in, so they didn't
Yeah.
count for anything except for a miss. But you know, and then I would say, yeah, there were a couple of saves that were decent, I guess, but mostly by Berkey. And yeah, I mean, it's just this is that type of match. You take the result, move on, and you know if we can build on the certain aspects of it, which I think we can, I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, adding to what you just said, like Berkey had a goals prevented stat of 2.01.
Yeah, yeah, the dude's good. I mean, it's a he won I think the gloves last year,
Yeah.
both gloves, for that reason. And you know, uh, I think it's also you know I think with Steven Gregerson coming back into the fold, it'll be interesting because if we persist with the three-man back line, I've liked Efrain Morales in there. Now his quality on the ball isn't maybe quite what we need at the moment. So having him as a sub is quite good. And then Noah Cobb as well. Doesn't deserve to probably sit either. But the great question is, once Almada and Wiley they go to the Olympics, who's our left fullback? Who's our left wingback?
And we need Amador coming in hot. So let me read a couple of these, and then we'll get into the guests. We have 2 tonight. And also remind me to get into a defensive topic once we get Gavin on, because there's something I want to talk about. Big topic of this game that I really think is awesome. So Chris James says, I'm happy with the team's last 3 games. I mean, at least we fight in them. We are at least getting something out of these games. So good on the coach, good on the young guys. And also I'm good with the pragmatic approach. With the team we trotted out, I'm not going to hate. We've needed some luck to go out our way. It was good to see Valentino make the change early and bring in Dax. He did help control the game. Aside from his first touch of the game, he helps control it. I don't know what it is. I made this comment in the Discord where I was like, do we not warm our players up before we ever put them on the pitch? It seems like it sometimes.
He was warming up for a while, but I think it's there's not really an area for him to kick the ball, really.
We should do that. We should install that. We should figure that out. Maybe set up a VR, virtual reality, get him in there. We have the money. This is the differentiator. Land United, this club can put you above other teams with things like that. All right, so, and also MVP KC says, I was there. All right, cool. Yeah, tell us about it, what your experience was while you were there. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, how was how are the Atlanta United fans? It seemed like there was a good bit of energy, but something that I want to see from our away fans is something that a lot of European sides and really all around the world is that sometimes they're louder than the fans at the home stadium.
Saw that with Charlotte at our stadium.
Exactly, they were pretty loud at times, and so that's probably what added to Pineda going after that match too. It was that was embarrassing.
Yeah. So Gavin, are you there? Can you hear us?
I'm here. You don't hear me?
Yes, I can. Absolutely. So Gavin, what's up? Give us your give us your download. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, we got pretty lucky tonight. Gotta say, there were goods and bads, but at the end of the day, we still got a positive result on the road against St. Louis team, who's not been good, but they're good. They have a good goalkeeper, made some good saves here and there. Zan did good too. We had pretty good defense. It's good that we subbed in Steen at the for the second half, but I like Efrain as well because he's been doing good. I'm glad we got the penalty. I'm glad Steen won the penalty because you don't really see defenders win penalties as much nowadays. But he won it, and Daniel Rios, before that penalty was taken, I was like, why is he taking the penalty? I was saying when it was called, if there's a person I do not want taking the penalty, that'd be Daniel Rios. Like, I'd rather have Ian take the penalty, because that was at the battery match, and he takes better penalties than Daniel Rios, because that wasn't that good, but it went right back to him and he just slapped it on because he can't miss.
Yes, Ian had a decent penalty at that game. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I'm glad we got a point out of this, and I don't see why we don't keep going next week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely, as far as results, I think we could come into the Toronto match with some confidence, and definitely feeling like, okay, well, defensively, it's going to be very difficult for the other side, hopefully, and for them to break down 5 men and also 2 ahead of them. I mean, we're pretty much defending with 7 sometimes, and that's gonna be that's pretty much like half of us, and it's gonna be something for Toronto to contend with. But yeah, as far as the just the general play. I mean, there is pragmatism, but are you okay with it? Are you just hey, we're getting results?
It's okay. It's nothing bad. I mean, again, it's mixed emotions for me because it's the same thing that we're seeing. It's these road games. We're not good on the road. It's completely normal to see as an Atlanta United fan. We are not good on the road. It's hard to win on the road too in MLS. We just beat DC, but St. Louis are a different team, and there was no Almada. We didn't start with Gregerson, but going forward, I think it'll be different because we're back at home, getting Almada back, better in the attack, and Ian might start, but I just know that he's back too. So, but yeah, I think I'm okay with this, and we can definitely build off of it, and hopefully just keep going and make a push for the playoffs.
Yeah, like we said in the last live show on Wednesday, it's this, getting scrappy wins, getting your feet under you. It's step 1. Then once you start getting some wins, start feeling a little more confident, then you can start worrying about winning in certain different kinds of ways instead of just trying to scrap your way through. So that's where we need to start with just that. I wanted to also say we need to talk about Derek Williams, because hell of a game the guy had. That hell of many games this guy has had for us. And no one expected this guy to be pulling so many great shifts for us. When we signed him, it was very much kind of under the radar. I certainly didn't expect a lot from him. I'm like, oh, another MLS retread, and this guy is balling out. It's incredible. He hit him and Dax too. They both hit incredible balls. Into very dangerous positions that unsettled St. Louis's defense. Like, I haven't seen that in a little bit. And I was like, okay, all right, Derek. He's not only is he's like playing good in defense, he's like starting to evolve his attacking contribution to the team too, which is like, I'm like, that's like Miles Robinson attempting to do that kind of stuff. So I'm like blown away by this guy, and I want to know how you guys agree or extremely agree with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was a really good trade we made, as we gave Miguel Berry to LA, and I think LA gave Derek Williams to us, because he's been really good. I was not on the post game for the DC match, but he saved our butts at that last play. Like, do you remember that last play? Like, I was on, I would have said he saved our butts that last play. But other than that play, he's been really good, and I think it was a really good trade we made for him. And yeah, the defense isn't as bad as I thought it'd be losing Miles Robinson. I thought it wasn't, as you saw last season, when we didn't have Miles Robinson, we didn't have Derek Williams nor Steven Gregerson. Well, I was like, we got to make some signing, and got Steven, a good trade for Derek Williams, and looks good to me. So I'm glad we made those trades.
Yeah, it's definitely that. It's Derek Williams, the last ditch tackle that he made earlier on in the match. I mean, yeah, the balls that he's spraying across the pitch, really good stuff. I think it's part of it, though. I want to see more of is helping us start the attack from the back if we are wanting to do that. That still leaves a little bit to be desired for me, because yes, you can hit it long all you want. Yes, we do have the type of strikers to at least hit as a target, but I don't know if we have anybody really close enough to these strikers to kind of bring the rest of the players into the match. And you can hit it all long all you want. It's just if he's surrounded by 2 or 3 defenders, it's kind of you're still giving the ball away, unfortunately, because the Daniel Rios, he's pretty decent at kind of holding it up, but not I would say elite levels, and that little bit does I think kind of scream out that okay, we can improve here so that we can actually kind of get the rest of the team close to the box and fashion better chances than our 3 other best chances were strikes from distance. Like, I think we can do better than that, but it is also with the defense. I mean, if you look at our goal difference and where we are, it's very much like us being 9th. We shouldn't be 9th. Like we've very much underperformed our XG. We just don't score when we should, and we honestly could be higher with better luck, but or maybe just more clinical finishing, and yeah, it's still not good enough. Like we want to be in the echelons of at least 4th or higher, but we're making some progress, so can't complain that hard. But yeah, Gavin, final thoughts.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up. We were fighting for a top 4 spot, but I think front office took way too long to sack Pineda, because we should not be this low. We're not a team that's supposed to be this low. We should be higher, and I hope we can push higher. I hope we can get a solid spot for the playoffs. I hope, but I hope we do something in U.S. Open Cup. We play in the 11 upcoming pretty soon. I don't know when, but I know it's coming pretty soon. When that, we're either going to Dallas or Kansas City, and again, you'll never know how we play on the road. But both those teams, not too good, but if there's teams we can win on the road against, it could be that. So we get a trophy this season, U.S. Open Cup, because that's always a possibility. Get a second one, that'd be awesome. But definitely focus on MLS play as well, and we'll see how League's Cup goes. Yeah, that's my final thought.
All right.
Actually, I had top 3 players. I got Williams, which looked good. He had a great strike, which went off the post, and then he almost destroyed that goal post. The third, Suzanne, I hadn't mentioned him yet, but yeah, he did pretty good. And a bonus, the ref.
Yeah,
the ref out.
I know, right? Yeah, basically the sassiness, like the however.
Yeah, that was great. He's like, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah, and because I mean, it was kind of a roller coaster for a lot of people. I mean, they spent 4 or 5 minutes looking at everything, which, that there's a whole meme right now, maybe not right now, but like this year in the Prem, where it was the whole good process.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say this was good process. They honestly took their time to find that, okay, from backwards to front, essentially. Yes. Was this officiated correctly? no egos. You know, it was very much like, wow, this is super refreshing. Like, you just don't see this. There's no old boys club of protecting each other. It's, yeah, okay, we got it wrong. Move on. Let's go forward. You know, let's get the call right. It's insane. But,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm not a St. Louis fan tonight, because tonight would not be a good night to be a St. Louis fan.
Yeah.
It would not. I'd be fuming right now.
Yeah. But even then, I mean, I think this is still progress for them.
They scored a goal?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They scored a goal.
End of the goal drought too.
Exactly. And then plus, yeah, they haven't been doing well at all this month, and especially at home. So, you know,
Have we?
yeah, exactly. And so it's we again at the start of the show, this was a mediocre off or a mid off, and you know, I think we're probably, of course, you know, when you can be the side that draws at level, you're the happier side.
Match explained itself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, your real final thoughts this time.
Nothing really. I mean, just hopefully we can win at home for the first time since Easter next week.
It would be nice,
I hope
wouldn't
we
it?
can. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Toronto, they're not doing good. They lost 3-0 at Red Bull Arena tonight. I don't remember when they last won, but we got to win that now. Catch them while you can.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been fool's gold. Toronto have, you know, obviously been, you know, kind of wooden spoon at least last year, and then, you know, this year, like they've been higher in the standings, but I mean they just got clapped, and you know, we're gonna see our old friend Derek Etienne.
Yeah.
Oh,
But Insigne's
I hope he
back with
doesn't
them,
score
right?
on us. Yeah, Insigne, Bernardeschi. They have their players right now. They're just not doing good with them right now.
Yeah.
They're just not right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to be. I think Derek Etienne.
Right, exactly. It's the two of them playing together. It's always a little bit of a wonder. Like their chemistry doesn't seem to be actually of one of teammates or friends, but you know, is what it is.
Yeah,
But,
that's the subtext of like their relationship and with the coaching staff last year all together.
Right. But,
Yeah, Franco Escobar scored against us, and is Derek Etienne next? I hope not.
It seems to be a trend, and I really hope that's not the case, because God forbid he does. Everyone is going to lose their mind. He's been doing well for Toronto, too, so it's frustrating.
Yeah. Yep. Surprisingly, I mean, not surprisingly actually.
Yeah. Well, that's probably true. But yeah. Also, the young kid that came on as a sub today for St. Louis.
No, dude.
Didn't score.
No, yeah, well, that's the thing. The guy literally goes, by the way, this is not his MLS debut.
Right.
This is the game after his MLS debut. And I said,
Right.
if this was the MLS debut, he would have scored that shot, 100%.
Right. I know. Right. It's probably if you were on the pitch, you would have like slide tackled him out of the game.
Yeah, I would have broke that person and then be like, you cannot score. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
Because for some reason, you're going to be the most likely person to score on this pitch against Atlutd.
It's death and taxes and rookies scoring against Atlanta United.
It's ridiculous.
Former Atlanta United players, rookies, you name it, happens all the time.
All right, thanks, Gavin. We'll talk to you later. Have a good rest of your weekend, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you guys. See you guys soon.
Take care. All right, so we have one more guest coming on tonight. Our friend Bill is coming on. The eponymous, the pseudonym Bill is coming on. Kevin B in the chat says, happy with our CB pairing and depth. Historically, couldn't always say that. And the however had me howling about the ref. Yeah, 100%. That's going to be a meme. I've already seen it. Been clipped and then created into a GIF and being passed around in Discord servers. So That's going to be around for a hot minute, I think, because that was hilarious.
Right. And pretty much everybody's gonna be, just, laughing at it, except for St. Louis fans. Sorry about it, but not really. It's I think it's a moment that, okay, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for MLS refs because you've seen how Mike Dean has embraced that, that limelight, and a very famous Premier League ref that loves being on TV, and him any ref that just basically they get to kind of be on TV and really actually have their voice heard. Like, there's literally it's this, obviously NFL, we've seen this for decades or more, but maybe not more than decades, but just decades. But it's one of these things where there's no one else that you hear on the pitch. There's one person that you can hear on the pitch, and it's a ref. Like, I think they're about to relish this, and it's kind of dangerous.
It could be, but as long as we don't have. I mean, we do have our villains of refs in this league, so I wonder who will become that like anti-hero type person.
I mean, I think it's probably Jerry Marufo, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, Bill, welcome in. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great, huh?
However, I am tired. No, I'm doing fine. I think you've got to get rid of the refs talking. Just put it on the board and have the board explain what's going on the replay. Show the replay. If you're going to have the refs talk, you need to release the entire, the whole commentary that's going on between them has to come out in the stadium, because it's not, his 3-second explanation was always going to be bad. The dude clearly fouled Muyumba in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
11 seconds later, the ball was in the back of the net. It was coming back. Just seems like one that you've set the refs up to be in trouble. Now, the ref was terrible that whole match, but different story, different day, not our problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of throwing our blind friends who go to watch soccer games under the bus a bit, but okay, that's fine.
Have the PA announcer say it. That's not a goal, because that dude went 2 feet forward into Muyumba in the middle of the field for no reason when Muyumba was out of control.
And not only that, he was like, "What? I barely hit you. Get up!" Afterwards, too, to Muyumba, as if nothing happened.
Things that are a foul. So, other things, not sure the PK was a foul. Not sure Caleb Wiley kicking someone in the head in the box wasn't a foul. There's some bad handballs missed. Overall, we got outplayed 88 of the minutes tonight, but a result's a result.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout about the possible high boot, the non-call for Daniel Rios' handball as well, and then later on, a half second later, they get called for a handball. I mean, I think possibly the bad calls were essentially kind of balanced out a little bit, but I mean, ultimately, it's the chance creation, and I think that's the issue for both clubs. But you gotta play with the players ahead of you, with what you've got, and no one on this 18 was really able to be the guy to create multiple chances for us. Each player probably had max probably one chance that, if like a half chance possibly. I mean, Daniel Rios obviously with his two kind of I guess possible chances, and then his rebound. It's you would expect that from the striker, but I mean, not good enough, obviously. But yeah, 88 minutes though. I would maybe disagree with that. They I don't think St. Louis really had a ton of chances either, nor were they. Like I was said at the top of the shot, I think it was a mid-off, but.
I don't think they were particularly good in the final third, but they had, they hit Klaus hit the crossbar early. Brad had a couple of big saves early. Like they were the team. Our two good chances that weren't the PK, which by the way, MLS got to hire some more camera operators if the only view on that was whatever we saw. But different story. But we had the Zande ball to Rios that he was wide open. Horrible first touch. Doesn't set him up. Puts the ball behind him. Can't get anything on it. And then we had Fortune out of nowhere just ripping the heck out of the ball. But I think in each of the 3 games under Rob, we've gotten results and we've been the side that should have lost each match. So that's a positive change, but also one that I think is worth, that catches up with you. Under Pineda, we were controlled a lot with dumb mistakes, but we were frequently the team that was more cohesive for, large portions of the match. That doesn't seem the case so far. We were a moment of brilliance in the last match away from not getting the points. I mean, there was just one moment of Almada. Today, 50-50, that's a PK, and we needed the rebound to score it. But yeah, so we've got to figure out a way to create. We've got to figure out a way to create that isn't Almada doing everything. I think Saba helps. I think a new striker helps, but I'm less optimistic than a lot of people right now about what we've seen the last 3 matches, because that's a wounded duck, even if it's away in St. Louis. That if you're trying to be really good, even without every one of your stars, you need to get those points. You need to find ways to win, and that's a tough one.
So you're calling it a new head coach bump and balance?
I think it's a regression more than anything else. Like eventually, if teams score enough random low chances, or if you're giving away really dumb errors, eventually those things fix. I think Rob's big thing is getting us to be mentally focused for 90 minutes, but their goal was a just really dumb mental error. I don't know what you're doing. And then we tried to repeat it by heading the ball back through the middle to the top of the 18 like 3 minutes later. Like, really dumb mental errors. Good teams punish you. Like, we lose that game if that's against a team with clinical finishers.
Yeah. Let me just say, do not be, if you're watching this, do not be optimistic based on the Rob era so far. I don't think you should reasonably be expecting us to come in and start beating good teams. I just don't think that. I think we still have some building blocks and a process that we have to go through. We're not there yet. But at least right now you can say, hey, we won a game. Hey, we got some ties. And there were away ties. Like, it's nice. But, it's like we have to put our first foot down and then try. We have to walk before we run here. So do not be optimistic yet. This is just fun for now, I'll say.
I don't think.
Go for it. Okay.
Yeah. Go.
It's entertaining, but this is a team that, if fit, is very capable of doing things, right? You saw it. We went to Miami, the best team in the league, fully loaded, and smacked them around. This team could do stuff. I think, Rob might be the right guy to try to get us a U.S. Open. That's the type of thing I think Rob, a couple of games where you have to grit it out, that's what he's going to be good at. It's not going to be. He's not going to be someone who's going to get us an MLS Cup, but the Open Cup is very much something we could get this season.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, it's as far as kind of his move to bring on Steven Gregerson, like, I get it. I get he needs to get our DP playing time. I thought Morales was having a good match. Like, I thought, yes, in terms of ultimately hindsight is 2020, and Gregerson wins us the penalty, and yes, we're able to get back into the match. But also, we probably don't give up that goal, that first goal. I think it's a case where I think Morales, he keeps it so simple. If we're talking about keeping it simple, he boots that ball away. He's no nonsense. He's the most no nonsense defender that we've ever had, I think.
Yeah, he's like, if there's gonna be a problem, I don't want it to, like, if we're gonna concede or some stupid thing, it's not gonna be on me. I'm just gonna kick it away.
Right. Like, I saw a moment where he was like, he was pretty much in their half, and he possibly had another ball that he could have played to another defender. But the ball arrived. He was back to the defender, and he just kicked it out. Like, he was pretty much near the sideline. He could have dallied on the ball a little bit. Like, it wasn't gonna be a really bad counter if he had maybe got caught in possession. But nah, he's just whatever. I'm not gonna get caught in possession. I'm launching it into the into the stands, and
that could be a worry for a team, right? If you're if everyone has this mentality of, like, I don't want to be the guy to make the mistake that causes us to lose, so we all play super careful. It could be a bad thing. Could also potentially be a good thing. I have no idea how this team reacts to that type of thing, but it seems like it's not terrible so far.
Right. No, I think he could do it like strategically. I think he obviously right now. He wants to stay on the pitch. He wants to, not make mistakes. And so on that end, I get why he's doing what he's doing. But also, I think on that goal for St. Louis, it's a bit of that. Like, just like heading it down. It's like, launch the ball out of the box when there's so many players. It's going to bounce around. There's just, not sensing the danger enough. And that's just really, that's the microcosm of the, where we switch off. We don't play the full 90. That's exactly what we're talking about is, you have to sense that danger quickly enough and realize, okay, when to, there's a cliche in here, but I'm trying to remember it. Either way, whether you stick or twist.
When to, what is it? When to fold them? When to play? Like, what's the?
You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Fold them. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Or,
we found it. We got there. We got there eventually.
When in doubt, pick it out. That's real simple.
Yeah.
But
So
I think that's the thing that's tricky. Is I think if you're coaching a team, you have to look at multiple things at once. And if you've got Steven Gregerson, who fits, Steven Gregerson is a huge and vital piece to whatever we're going to do the balance of the season. And if the physio is telling you he needs 45 minutes of match fitness to get him ready to start next weekend, then that's what you kind of have to do it. Your hands are tied. That's what you're. It's unfortunate. It's a tough way to go, but in modern soccer, the physios control the subs almost as much as the actual coach.
I mean, I agree and disagree because it takes a ballsy head coach to say, hey, I hear you physios, but we're doing fine. We're doing fine in this match. Hey, I'm going to stick with the player that, has gotten us to right now and give those players that are coming back from injury one more game. And when that happens, okay, maybe some of the injuries that happened with Sam Gregerson early on in the season don't happen after his first injury. It's essentially, I think we brought him in too early because, yes, we were scrounging for results. We had to. Pineda got itchy butt, and he had to, stop the bleeding. And so, I think obviously that comes with luxury. But, yeah, it's as well, it's like, attacking players, I think you can probably do that a little bit more with, unless you're chasing a game or something. But
Bill, question for you. What's going on with Wiley? A lot of people were up in arms about his performance tonight. He had a pretty low rating on SofaScore. Like my eye test of watching him, a lot of errant passes. He's tired, like the heat got to him. I mean, this is also not just this game. A couple of games he's been a little lackluster here and there. What's going on with him, do you think?
I think you're seeing the growing pains of a kid coming into his own. I mean, I'll give you two things. Look at physically how he looks now versus he did before. He's growing up. He's much stronger, physical. It's different. He's evolving into his game. It's going to take him a while. This is going to happen. This isn't the end of his trying to figure out where he goes. So I think you're going to see a lot of mixed bag games, which is why you want some experienced help behind him. You want to play with those three center backs. It's just helpful. But he's just one that's he's gonna have games where he doesn't have it. I mean, if you watched Brooks in his Real Salt Lake days, you'd see the same thing. You'd see, oh God, this guy has talent. This guy has pace. Why isn't he doing this every match, putting it all together? And those are just things you get as you get older, wiser, and more professional. When to challenge. He made a dumb foul that was always going to be a foul early in the game where he just ran through someone's back on the touchline. And if you're, a wing back tasked with going up and down the whole field for 90 minutes in 90-degree heat, there's no reason to chase that ball. You just be a little bit smarter. It's not worth it at that point. You save your energy a little bit. So there are things he'll learn over the next couple of years. It would be really great if we had a veteran left wing back to just walk him through these things, but we have no more left-footed players, so we don't really have that. I think that's a problem. I think we need, he needs a mentor on the team. That's obviously not going to happen this year, but I think that's the big issue is he needs someone to show him how to do this, how to get to the next level, and we don't have that anywhere in the building.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's interesting is maybe we have somebody that's in town that could do it, that is coaching much, much younger players in Greg Garza, but, for some reason, I mean, yeah, he's kind of at some games and whatnot, but, he's doing the Beyond Goals mentoring with Michael Parkhurst, but it's fascinating. Like, he could be hired as, someone that teaches our fullbacks how to be good fullbacks. But, fascinating nonetheless.
I think you want someone in the locker room, so if you're going to hire him as a fullback assistant coach would be cool. But really, I mean, you need someone who's capable of, one, giving him breathers, and two, showing him kind of the ropes. I know people will hate this name that I bring up, but a Tyrone Mears is really helpful for the development of a fullback. He's not one you want to play. Likewise, if you think about how Miles Robinson got so good, look at the players who he was playing behind.
Mm-hmm.
Parkhurst. He was playing behind LGP at times. Like, Parkhurst and Jeff Lorinovitz, those are guys who you could watch what they do every day and just mimic it. We've got Dax, but that's more centrally, so I don't know what their relationship is there. Just get a wingback who, find a 4-year-old who's played in Europe.
I believe, like, a guy like Jeff, a guy like Parkey, not only are they good at what they're doing, they're the kind of guy who can teach it, too. Like, they have the intelligence to be able to bestow that information and that wisdom in a, if you're a more, verbal learner versus, like, a physical learner, like, they can get you multiple different ways. So, like, we were really lucky to have those types of guys, and Miles Robinson definitely benefited from that.
Yeah, and I think there's other guys, like, there's a lot of ways to show someone the ropes. A guy like Nagby, my guess is he doesn't say more than 2 words very often. But if you watch how he works, you'd be like, okay, I need to do the following 5 things to be a fantastic professional. Because that's what he is. He's unbelievably talented, able to do everything he wants on a field, but also works 90 minutes every single game to do it. Like, that's a good example. Jeff is probably a far more vocal guy. That guy's going to yell at you. Those are both things that are very nice to have, good to have. I don't know how much of that we have. You just need a little bit more from your veteran leaders, and veteran leaders in kind of each position group.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, yeah.
I don't think we've had that for a while. Like we said in the past, like 2018 team was stacked with veteran wisdom and everything like that. It was crazy.
Something that's, I think, also interesting, because Caleb Wiley, super young, could also still grow. Could grow taller. Say he grew a couple more inches.
Does he have siblings? Do we know? Do we know how tall they are?
Yeah, who knows? But, it'd be interesting to see, okay, well, does he persist as a fullback? Yes, he's got that blazing speed, but, if he does grow just kind of lankier.
Yeah, that'll throw him off a bit too, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's something to look out for, in the next 2 or 3 years. If
you could be a late bloomer.
Yeah. So
I think the challenge with Caleb is that currently in Caleb's game, from a defensive standpoint, he is a good defensive wingback. He's not a super strong defensive fullback. From an offensive standpoint, he's a bad left winger in this league. So the problem is he is offensively valuable by burning up the left side and not going against their fullback, but going against a midfielder or a winger who has to track back against him. So you pair him with Zandy cutting inside, and you get, a huge overlapping run from Wiley, and it just is fine because he can use his pace. But clinically in the final third, it's not good enough to be a winger long term. The good news is where soccer in general is going is that's being a poor defensive fullback is a good thing now. It's just kind of the way it is, especially as a lefty. So I just think even if he grew, he would have to evolve his offensive game a lot more than he needs to improve his defensive game to get to the next level as a winger. His ceiling is an elite wingback. That's what he can be. He can be if he continues to mature, he can be a top 5, bottom half of the league wingback in Europe. I don't think no matter how much he matured and grew as a player, he can do that as a winger.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not a winger. But as far as his delivery from crosses, that definitely needs work. His playmaking, I think, he does have that in the final third a bit. But, with the more, I guess, kind of held importance of possibly having your fullbacks invert, which I have a problem with the inverted part, but still, it's the way it's kind of known. And he doesn't have the ability to play in midfield well enough, so he is and has to probably be a little bit more of that traditional fullback. Now, that's the hard part about him is that on the wing, it's not necessarily where you want him. You kind of want him kind of near the edge of the box or in the box when he does get into the final third. And so it's, like the delivery, say from across aerially versus a kind of a pinged low ball or something. It's just, he's got his strengths on the latter, not the former. And that's where he's going to be an enigma for some teams. If he doesn't persist with Atlanta United his entire career, which is very unlikely. But obviously, if he does go to Europe, what kind of team is he going to play on? And yeah, the game is always going to evolve too. So it very much would favor back into his strengths. But right now, I don't see the top teams utilizing his strengths like that. But
No, I think he's bottom table of a top 5 league. But the other thing I would say for Wiley on his defense, offensively, he's better at combining, and you're not dealing with a consistent partner of passing. Silva's missed a ton of games. Amada's out now. Those are the 2 players he combines with. If you took our best 11 and set them up how, would be the best way to put them out, and going back to GG, but you'd have, Williams and Gregerson playing it in the back 4. You'd have Lennon on the right. Lennon works really well with Saba. Saba wants to attack forward. Lennon wants to sit back, get the ball from him and hit crosses, kind of top of the 18. And Wiley wants to attack and Silva wants to cut in. The 2 pairings fully fit are really, they make sense, they create space, they can interchange well. We just don't have it healthy, and we don't healthily have the center striker available. We don't have the center backs available to play it. We don't have the midfield. So the place I feel most comfortable on this team is Wiley and Silva, Lennon and Saba. I think those 2 pairings, and then obviously Almada, just make sense. They're actually designed to function. So if Wiley doesn't go soon, I think there's a really good chance for him to develop and be in a comfortable spot, especially if we add, a quicker striker who can get on the end of stuff a little bit differently. I think that'll help Wiley's game a ton.
Right.
Yeah.
And also maybe a striker that can create their own shot, which I think that's where a lot of it has been missing. Is that we're far too reliant on everybody else providing that service for the striker. And I mean, as well tonight it was very interesting. Rios, he did kind of take that pop shot, but it's when he was trying to create, it was rough watch. And Tiara as well, having them both on the pitch, I mean, it was just
that was rough to watch. Yeah,
exactly. Not something that I really particularly want to see too much of, because that's pretty much 2 of the same or similar type of striker that you want somebody that can run in behind, which Tiara can be a little bit. He's pretty pacey. He can probably check his run and curve his run enough to create those type of chances in behind, but we didn't see that at all.
No, he just takes a shot from super distance and it goes way out of bounds.
Yeah, it's just so you need either kind of those, if you're going to play the 2 striker partnership, is a big and a small type of traditional type of role where you have the small going to be able to create some space, some shots, some just anything, chances, and as well maybe running behind, and then the target forward that holds it up, brings everybody else into the game, heads it down for that second striker to do something with. And I mean, we have him in the squad. Nick Firmino is that second striker. If we're going to play with 2 strikers, we should do that. And it's maybe not proven yet in this league, because Nick Firmino,
And Nick is slow. I learned tonight that I think I might be faster than Nick Firmino.
but that's the thing. It's he's really good in the box. So that's that's really where you need to get him. Is okay. Well, if it's Rios in the interim, well, Rios and Firmino. Let's see how they do together. At least our best options for creating chances in the box as of now.
So, Bill, what's your final thoughts on this game? Because it's getting a little bit after midnight. I'm getting sleepy.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give you what I think is my favorite thing about this game. In Dax McCarty's, 200-year career at this point, I bet there are dozens of times he's been subbed on for a striker. I bet tonight this is the first time he's been subbed on for a striker to make the team more offensive. Which is like a team's bad, like Firmino, Brennan, anyone but starting the two of them up top together without someone like Almada. But, my final thought is you get a point. That's good. Now come home Saturday and actually look like a team that can win games and give us a little bit of hope going forward.
All right, well said, well said.
Well, yeah, Bill, thank you so much as always.
Thanks, y'all.
Great rest of your night, man.
Take care.
Thanks.
All right, it is 12:22 in the a.m., so we're going to read these last comments and get out of here because I've had a very long day and I need to get to sleep. Connor says, Wiley on the left side of a 3 would be very interesting. I'd think a higher possession side in a 3-4-2-1. He could help a lot with carrying the ball offensively. Not really a top 5 league IMO, maybe a story. It's the top 5 league. At least, see, that's the thing. I think what they were talking about earlier is that they were looking at him in terms of his ceiling, which I don't think he's there yet. So perhaps the trajectory might land him somewhere around that, but I don't think like they were saying right now he could fit there. I don't think so at all.
No, it's also that it's like a lot of people. If you're a good fullback in MLS, everyone's gonna compare you to Alphonso Davies. He's nowhere close to Alphonso Davies, unfortunately.
No, very few people are. I think he might be the best in the world at his position.
Exactly. There's no slight on any player not being good enough as, or not good enough, but as good as Davies. And Davies is on. Excuse me. Ooh. On Bayern Munich, one of the best teams in the world, being looked at by other best teams or better teams even.
Is he going to Real Madrid?
Real Madrid are looking at him.
That would be wild.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fascinating. Okay, I really need a second.
So anyway, Connor wanted to correct it. He said he meant Austria or the Netherlands. So Netherlands is a shout. That could be interesting for him. I would hate to see it would be something like Belgium or something, but it's there's also possibilities in other leagues in Europe that he could use as a springboard, just for him to have establish a beachhead in Europe and then go from there. It's a possibility.
But I think that's the thing for Atlanta United is why, why would we do that unless we have somebody else coming in? Great, but I'd say for Caleb Wiley, sure. He would want to go to Europe as soon as possible, of course. But, selfishly, I think it's, Wiley has a lot of growth, and I think he can really, help this team in a good team. But, yes, like Bill was saying, is that, we need somebody to be the understudy, but also be able to mentor him a little bit as well. Maybe the signing, knows that coming in is that, hey, you're not going to play a ton, but you're going to get paid a little bit more because you're going to be, pretty much mentoring our fullbacks to just be better positionally. And because just the positional awareness from both of our fullbacks just leaves things to be desired. And that's okay in this league, but I feel like any of that can be solved. Like, to be able to improve the players on your squad, I think that's better than having to bring in a really expensive player, or a ton of expensive players. If you can just simply improve a lot of the players on your squad, kind of day by day, week by week. Obviously, that's kind of easier said than done. But I think with the right coaching, that's that 20% that Garth Lagerwey is talking about. Well, then yes, spend that money on the coaching to get these players that you already have that do have talent, and let's just up their soccer IQ. Let's up their ability to be able to read situations within the match so much quicker. And within maybe an entire season, well, the growth of that player is going to be exponential. So,
yeah, if only we could get someone like Jordi Alba to come here for pennies, and then teach someone like him. That would be crazy.
See, this is exactly the thing, though. So yes, okay, Messi being in Inter Miami brought those other players, but Inter Miami, though, the education that those other players that are not ex-Barca players, they are getting something that's incredible. Like, that will help them for the rest of their lives.
That you can't even put a dollar value on that type of training. It's
exactly. So, and that's where it is. It's like, bring these big name players, and with either that or just invest in the coaching, invest in different ways that is essentially what Moneyball is. Like, get those inefficiencies that other teams are doing, and I think we can do more of those things. We haven't seen us do that really. Like, we've in a way kind of downsized the Moneyball things that we were doing, like before anyway, with fewer analysts, fewer scouts. It's like, why would we spend less on those things that really ultimately don't cost that much in the grand scheme? Like, yes, Arthur Blank can afford a few more scouts, can afford a few more analysts. I'm sure it will be okay.
Or does MLS limit those too?
It hasn't. I don't think they really say that. I think, and if they did, that would be highly unusual.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I was being facetious, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look. Connor has a couple more comments. He said, Davies also has the physical attributes many could only wish to have. That's true. One thing I hope is that they could teach is what kind of ball to play in certain situations. I mean, that's really hard. That's like soccer IQ stuff, and that can be difficult to teach. Experience is the best teacher in that, I feel like. Imagine getting to be a midfield training next to Busquets. Yeah. I mean, like, it's wild, man. Like we said, you can't put a dollar value on the type of experience those guys are getting there.
Besides goalkeeper, they have literally someone in every line that can just either through showing you, by example, or telling you. And man, like, Campana is getting the best education from Suarez. I'm not sure too many people can glean how to exactly do things from Messi, because Messi,
he's an alien. Just score. Like, it's easy.
Just be low center of gravity like me, and you can glide right past players like this. That is to take nothing away from his work ethic and what he's been able to train to get better, but it's just obviously it's like not everyone can just dribble past 5 players like he does.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's man. I think like boost cats. That's that bit that you absolutely can. And well, everyone gets an Amber Alert.
Yeah,
You
got that Amber Alert just now.
Yep.
If anyone's listening, 2024 black Toyota Camry in Valdosta, Georgia. So keep an eye out if you're in Valdosta.
Right. But anyway, yeah, let's read the chat and let's.
That was the last comment in the chat.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for hanging out, Connor, and everyone else. I'll drop down to 8. I know it's past everyone's bedtime. It's it's getting rough, so we'll let everyone go in a moment. But thanks for hanging out, those that did. And we will see you for the next game against Toronto on, is it Saturday?
On Saturday, indeed.
On Saturday, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So stay tuned for the transfer rumors and 5-Shot Weekly, of course. And yeah, everyone enjoy Copa America and Euros and all that. But we'll have some content actually about Copa America very soon. But yeah, so everyone, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. That's Michael. I'm AJ. We will see you in the next video.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.